Yo, welcome in to Real Sports Talk, home of the realest sports talk. It's your boy, Run It Up, Rue. And man, I guess we got another subject to talk about here. Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. Want to know how you guys feeling? Let me know how you guys is reacting to this trade. Are you feeling it? Are you not? Um, I'm gonna give you my instant reaction to it. Uh, initially, I was upset. I was actually crazy because I was late picking my daughter up from daycare, so I was rushing. And when I got in the car, a lot going on in my mind, so I'm like not really paying attention to the radio. And then all of a sudden, I hear trade and Micah Parsons' name, and then so I get all the information together, and that pissed me off. Unexpected. Uh, I didn't see this coming, quite honestly. I didn't see this trade coming. Um, for multiple reasons. He's a top five superstar in this league right now. He's dominant at his craft. He's young, very young. He wanted to be in Dallas, that's for sure. Um, but this the whole contract dispute has been funny, fishy the whole time. Um, him and Jerry, they're communicating, but he's not communicating with his he's not communicating with Micah Parsons' agent. I'm not sure in 2025 where that's done. How do you expect to um get a deal done and not talk to the guy's agent? You guys let me know in the chat real quick. I only got two people watching, but let me know if the audio is good and everything. First time going live on the channel. Y'all let me know if that audio is good. But yeah, so you're not talking to the agent. You get a deal done behind closed doors with Micah. Okay, now you reach out to the agent. The agent's like, whoa, wait a minute. Deal not done. Let's start negotiating. And I think for Jerry, that was just it for him. He knew he could get compensation for him. Not paying Micah Parsons will put Dallas in a great cap situation. So no longer should we hear about Dak Prescott's contract, right? We should no longer hear about that, right? Because you're saving how much money by not paying Micah Parsons? So we should not hear about Dak Prescott's contract at all, right? That clears that off the board. But yeah, not dealing with his agent. I don't know where they do that at. Only in Dallas. Only in Dallas do they do that. On the other note, though, after I had time to digest this trade and really sit back and think about it, do I want Michael Parsons to be on this team? Hell yes. Will I ship back Kenny Clark to is that his name? I'm not even sure this is his man's name. What's his man's name? Yeah, Kenny Clark. Would I ship him back to Green Bay to have Michael Parsons back? Yes. I guess my biggest gripe with this trade is it feels like the Amari Cooper trade. It's just not enough. Yeah, there's friction, in the back, not privy to our view. There were some things in the locker room going on with Amari Cooper, and the head coach at the time. And possibly Jerry thought there was friction in the locker room, or it comes out that Mike McCarthy is the reason why Amari Cooper was traded. But however, Jerry still had to sign off on the deal. And what I'm getting at is that the compensation that we got for Amari Cooper, I believe, was a 5th round pick. Now, in this Micah Parsons trade, we're getting a second, 2 first round picks. But if Green Bay is worth a damn or have anywhere near the season that they're predicting to have, those 2 first round picks are essentially second round picks, right? Now, of course, you could package those up and move up in the draft. And I guess that's something that most likely will happen just to get the best bang for the buck now that we have it. it's just like this deal wasn't made in the best interest of the team because this is the best move for all 11 on the field. This feels like Jerry is being tired of being pushed over. And it wasn't even necessarily about him winning the trade or finally winning a trade, because he definitely, in my opinion, he did not win that. Did we get something that we needed back in Kenny Clark as far as a run stopper? Of course, yes, we did. We got that. But at what fucking cost? You know what I mean? Because we've been drafting poorly. We got Mozzie Smith over here, who's a fucking bust. That was our first round pick. We're looking at Schoonmaker. What is he doing for us? Second round pick. We could have got a goddamn defensive tackle then. So it's like everything. It's a circle of life thing. Everything has a cause and causation. Yeah, I just hate the way that they're dealing with these contracts when it's time to pay the guys. Dak was ready to get paid well before he got paid. Micah was talking contract a year ago. You could have hollered at Micah before Hendrickson got paid, before Myles Garrett got paid, before the Bosa's got paid. You could have got ahead of all of these guys' deal. You were working with somebody who wanted to be in Dallas, but you're not going to backdoor him. You're not gonna say, hey, the guy that whether or not he's in on the deal, I still got to give this man a percentage of this fucking contract. So you're gonna have to talk to my agent. And I don't understand that. And let's be honest, let's be clear here. The agent for Micah Parsons is the same agent for the wide receiver we just got from the Steelers. David Mulagella is the same agent that we have for Pickens. So it's not even like he's not going to have to deal with this man going forward. And once again, it's not even that you traded Micah Parsons. I'm not really happy about the compensation. It feels like the Luka Doncic trade. Like, it's just not enough compensation if you were to even make this trade. But listen, he's an op now. He's in Green Bay. And let me just be fair to let me also be fair to the Joneses here, because I didn't necessarily agree with the way Micah Parsons handled this whole contract thing. I think he was a year early. Not even that he was a year early. He should have seen the tea leaves on the writing on the wall when it came to Dak Prescott and how they were handling him. They literally signed him in the day of the game, right? And Dak Prescott didn't even do half the things that you were doing already in the media. You know what I'm saying? If one thing we know about the Joneses, the media is where they like to be. They want all the attention on them in the most positive of ways. All right. Micah Parsons is a new age player who is hip to social media, and he's willing and ready at any moment to say how he feels. He podcasted in the offseason. That's something the Joneses didn't like. But when he wrote that letter, said he didn't want to be a Dallas Cowboys anymore, and then specifically talked about conversations with the Joneses, I kind of felt right there that it wasn't that he crossed the line. I feel like he it's not that he crossed the line. I feel like he played his cards too soon, or he played that card too soon. The letter was too much. I get that you are frustrated, and the Joneses is going to move at their pace. Hell, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. And look how they play with the quarterback. Man, they've been playing with Dak Prescott for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So to expect just straight up easy goings, a yellow brick road, it just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen, in my opinion. You had to show a little bit more pause, a little bit. I feel like if he would have killed the Joneses with kindness, they would have been pressured more to get the job done, to get the deal done. But instead, he chose to go at the Joneses and play by their games, which is using the social media. And the Joneses is just, and they listen to the media, right? So every time we scream they lose a deal, Jerry is the worst general manager, he's hearing these things. He's hearing these things, and it affects him to a certain extent. And this time around, especially after Dak Prescott, because the Dak Prescott also started to use social media, and also he was using interviews to voice his displeasure or whatever, and basically saying, name the franchise quarterbacks that actually started and ended their careers with one team. Those slight little jabs letting the Dallas Cowboys know, like, hey, I'm gonna be all right if you move on from me. I've made my money. I've proved myself time in and time over with you guys. I'm gonna be all right. You're not talking to me. Micah Parsons is on a rookie deal. You know what I'm saying? This last go around for Dak Prescott, he's been made his money. He's been franchise tagged and franchise tagged again. You know what I mean? So you've dropped a significant amount of money in this man's bank account 3 times. 3 times since being a 4th round pick. You've dropped a significant amount of money into Dak Prescott's bank account 3 times, just making him prove it. And so I just feel like Micah didn't really take that into consideration. Like, okay, maybe I need to show a little bit more pause, a little more some fancy word there, right? But he just needed a little bit more. And this is, he has a young agent, I believe his agent is young as well. And I'm like, okay, maybe a more veteran agent would have told you, let's hold on to that card, because we know this isn't dealing with the Tennessee Titans. This isn't dealing with, the New York. Well, they let Saquon go, so I ain't gonna say New York Giants, but this isn't most of any other franchises in this league, right? Dallas Cowboys, they like to do things their way, and they're not going to be pressured into things. They're not going to be pressured into it. So yeah, I feel like Micah played his cards too soon. I feel like he played his last card too soon, actually, because after that letter, what else did you have but to scrub your social media of Dallas Cowboys pictures and mentions and stuff like that? So I just hate the way it ended, because he was definitely a fan favorite for the nation. We all love Micah Parsons. We loved having him on this team, and and listen, I just listened to the Joneses press conference talking about this, and I'm not going to throw any clips up here, but to surmise what a part of what he was saying was, Micah Parsons has been on this team, and we still being ran on. Where it's a fact Micah Parsons in the postseason has not came to play, but neither has the other 10 people on the field. But Jones talking about what happens is they start running at Micah. Okay, so you're saying he's not stopping the run, and instead of slowing down his pass rush ability, just run at him. Okay, so listen, we're not going to use Kenny Clark as an excuse as to and his ability to stop the run as a reasoning as to why this trade is smart on the behalf of getting rid of Micah Parsons, because in all reality, we could have had somebody in here to stop the run and still have Micah Parsons. This deal is where it's at. This trade is where it's at because of communication or lack of pigheadedness on both parts. This is what happens when you have a new aged player versus an old school minded general manager / owner. You got to remember, this is a unique situation in Dallas. We're talking about the same person when we're talking about the general manager and the owner. Okay, so his power is second to none in the building. So if he's feeling some type of way, there's nobody really there to say, hey, his son, just Steven's not going to do it. Steven, first of all, probably didn't want to pay Micah in the first place. He's always looking to save a dollar, as if he's some cap guru. For as tight as he's been with this damn budget, where has that gotten us? Where's the fruits of that labor? Because we've been able to pay guys. These guys have not been getting it done. So we paid guys who have not gotten it done. Appreciate that. Great way to fucking, utilize the cap. And yeah, you got to make a 53-man roster that's competitive as hell. Make sure that you have depth and key piece in places and stuff like that. But I look across the goddamn division at Philadelphia, and man, they're paying their offensive line, they're paying the running back, they're paying two wide receivers, they're paying their quarterback, they're paying the defensive line. They're paying all these players, and they're keeping depth. They're finding depth. They're working the phones. Meanwhile, stockpiling on draft picks. Let's talk about that. Philly has an abundance of draft picks. So there is a method. Where our front office is shit. It's shit. Am I happy that we might be able to stop the run? Yeah, but look what it fucking cost us. And to be honest, that is nothing but an excuse. That is nothing but a deterrence from what actually was the problem. So, go sit down, Nala. My dog over here wanting to be scratched. Go sit down. Yeah, so guys, no more Micah Parsons. No more Micah Parsons. And it's troubling for multiple reasons. I'm gonna miss the guy. I'm gonna miss, having that, just unstoppable force, especially during the regular season on third downs when you need somebody to make a play. That was our guy. Now, when you look at the defense, who does the opposing offense fear? Who are they game planning against? Who are they taking extra time in the meetings room to go over film with to see how they can stop this guy on the defense? You know what I mean? So now it's like we're doing defense by committee. And then, yeah, it's supposed to be a committee, but at the same time, it's like, hey, man, we had one of those guys. You just don't trade a Myles Garrett. You just don't trade a Bosa. You don't just trade a TJ Watt. What the fuck are we doing to stop the run? And I understand most of it is Micah in this contract, to come back to Jerry after they thought they already had a deal done to say now we can start negotiating. Listen, I don't agree with how it was handled on both sides. I'm pissed off with both of these guys. Y'all let me know in the chat how y'all feeling. I'm pissed off with both of these guys. It's unfortunate, quite honestly. It's unfortunate as a Dallas Cowboys fan. And I know most of the nation feel the same way. I would love if I had a front office that was productive in conversation with players well before it was time to even pay them, to identify what you have and get them paid. I wish we had a proactive front office, but we have a reactionary front office. All we know how to do is react. We have a strong counterpunch game, but our initial setup is weak as fuck. It's weak as fuck. And they'll throw the salary. Yo, I don't want to hear shit about Dak and his contract. I don't want to hear anything about that anymore. I don't want to hear that he's the reason why Micah Parsons isn't here, because that's bullshit. Because they were offering him top tier money, and Micah he wanted more, or and then the conversations with the agent is not happening, and so it's a lot of people mixed into this one deal here. It's a lot of egos. You got that. I mean, you got Micah, Jerry, you got Micah's agent, you got Stephen Jones, you got all these different guys working on this deal, trying to get a deal done. You got the agent talking to Jerry, you got the agent talking to Stephen, you got Micah in the back rooms with Jerry, you got phone calls between Micah and Stephen, and then ultimately you have Micah dropping a letter of wanting a trade straight on Stephen's desk, and then reports it that he's dropped it off straight to the man. So it was listen, that Denzel meme where he takes off the glasses, that right there, man. I'm like, At this point, what more can I do? We're a week away, literally a week from today. A week from today, we play the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending world champs, our division mates. If Jerry knew, he said in the press conference, he's been mulling over trading him. He knew for some time that the other option from signing Micah would be trading him because of the compensation. You knew all that. Why didn't you do it during the draft? Why didn't you get that compensation? That you wouldn't have got any less compensation if you would have traded his ass before the draft. Now we would have been working this year. You know what I'm saying? We'd have had players in here in training camp. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I don't got much more to say. I really don't. I'm torn. I'm torn in my feelings and my emotions. Am I happy that we might be able to stop the run? Yes. I'm going to miss the hell out of 11. I'm going to miss the hell out of 11. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be very hard to see him in that green and gold. It's going to be very hard. Because remember, I fucking hate the Packers. Right? I hate the Packers as much as I hate the Giants and the Eagles in Washington. I mean, they've been a rival. You send them to a rival? Yep. I'm not even sure. I feel like it's so much like they keep talking about Herschel Walker trade. This is not the Herschel Walker trade. This is not the Herschel Walker trade. We got actual real good compensation back from Herschel Walker. We don't know what the hell these 2 first-round picks is going to be. Because if Jordan Love is any good and stays healthy this season and the team does what they expect to do, once again, they're not really first-round picks. Which means you have to now package them. Instead of 2 shots at getting a really great player, we'll now have 1. Or package them and trade it for an actual good player. Which that's where I'm at with it. Like, package it up and go make another trade before this season starts. But, I mean, how many fucking more cornerbacks do we need? Yes, I do think we need another cornerback in here, but we got Trey Diggs, we got Bland, we got Ravel that should be coming back, and we got to give him time and chance to play so we can – I need him. I need him to be something. So, even going to pick up a veteran cornerback right now isn't even in the – that's not for the long term. We have pass rushers. I'm not worried about getting to the quarterback now that Micah's gone. I didn't worry about getting to the quarterback when Micah was here, and it wasn't just because Micah was here. We have edge rushers, and now with Kenny Clark, we should be able to stop the run, which means also my linebackers could play faster. I get all that. I do. I just don't like how the deal was. I don't like how the situation was handled, and I also don't care for what it took for me to stop the fucking run is to get rid of a top 5 player in the league. I don't hear that. So to me, this whole deal is more about grown men can't get the job done, can't get the deal done. That's what it boils down to, Yeah. Yeah. But y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feeling about it. Are y'all fans of the trade? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Micah Parsons, the op. I never really thought I'd be saying that. Yo, he's still on his first. I mean, he was just drafted in 2021. It's just crazy 4 years later, this is where we at. When we drafted him, we didn't even know what we fully had. And 4 years later, we giving his ass up because we don't want to come to terms with a deal. And I just feel like you want to play owner, you want to play general manager. Well, then show me the deals with those top players where it didn't turn into a goddamn fiasco through the social media. Show me where you are actually able to negotiate a top tier deal, not with some of these bargain bin bastards who will take anything and they'll be lucky to get a pair of shorts with a star on it. Not talking about those deals, not guys coming off injuries so now you can get them for the low. I'm talking about motherfuckers looking to get paid. Show me you can make that deal work. So far, all you've shown me is that you can negotiate through the media. You unwilling to negotiate. Where do they do that at? Where they are unwilling to negotiate with an agent who is hired. He gets a percentage of this man's contract to negotiate the damn contract, but you don't want to talk to him. He's also the agent of the wide receiver you just traded for that you will hope to re-sign next season. So how about you start with a good rapport? How about y'all figure out a middle ground? Get all heads in the room. Figure the fucking deal out because both sides want you to be here in Dallas. That would have been great. And then go figure out how to stop the fucking run. I don't care for this front office, whether Jerry's here or Jerry's gone. Steven he is not. I do not care. I care for Steven less than I care for Jerry. Simply because we got guys making football decisions that they're not really football guys. Hell, Jerry played football for Arkansas. Not very good, but he played. But Steven ain't never played. Never played. He wanted to play general manager. He did not go to college. He does not have a business degree. He has an architectural degree. Right? Funny enough, he can't build a fucking team. Or he could put together a nice little team, but that's Will McClay. And now Will McClay's starting to act a little fancy because he got a new title. It's his front office, the way they run shit, and it's not, once again, folks, it's not about losing the loss of Micah Parsons. It's the how and it's the why. Once again, the inability to get a deal done in a timely fashion before it even came to all this. It's like instead of, you say it's not ego. And you want to know how I know it's ego? Because the first thing out of your damn mouth when you start the press conference is you say, this has nothing to do with ego. It has everything to do with ego. At what cost did it take to stop the run? Yo, Kenny Clark, my God, you talk about a guy who has to come in here and produce. Let them run on us with Kenny Clark in it. And oh my God, let them come and still run on us, and we don't put Kenny Clark in the middle. All I could hope is that somehow Dallas is blessed. It is the Luka trade where it turns out we trade Luka and then we get the first round pick in the NBA draft and we're picking Cooper Flagg. So hopefully, I don't wish ill on anybody or injury, but Green Bay, if somebody could start stubbing some toes over there and, that'd be awesome, because if they can have a bad year, Dallas ultimately the worst year Green Bay. That's one thing we're gonna be paying attention as the nation. We're gonna be looking at how Dallas plays, but we're also gonna be paying attention to how well Green Bay is gonna be playing. And we do see them week 5. So not only did you trade him in conference, but you traded it to somebody we're gonna see on the schedule this year. I think it's fair to say this early, we can't lose to Green Bay. I mean, even if Micah was on this damn team, it would have been importance to beat Green Bay. But now, Micah Parsons against Tyler Guyton? Micah Parsons versus Terrence Steele? He not gonna come through the middle. He ain't gonna come through BB and Booker and all them boys and Smith. No, he gonna try them edges. It's very hard to be a Cowboys fan. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close it out on this. It's very, very hard to be a Cowboys fan. People take it for granted. They're talked about in the media every day. People think it's glamour and glitz, and oh, we're so spoiled, and oh, we're so delusional about our team. Yo, I don't know a delusional Cowboys fan at all. I don't hear it. I mean, if y'all do, shouts out to you. Hey, let it rain on you like some sunshine, because all I hear is disappointment, uneasy, unsettled, what the fuck, there hasn't been good years, man. 30 years. And it's like, my God, man, we see what it takes to win the Super Bowl. It takes multiple pieces. Man. And getting rid of top 5 players in the league is not how you get the job done. You get them paid. You figure everything else out. Jerry's pride it's just too much. Micah played the wrong card at the wrong time. I can't put all, as much as I would love to just blame the Joneses. I think Micah put gasoline on the fire. I think he accelerated to where we're at now. I mean, hell, bro, you could have got a job. You could have got a deal made mid-season. You could have took a life insurance policy out just in case you got hurt this season, so you will recoup a couple $1 million, so you're not losing any money during your injury time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was ways to secure that bag to make sure that, you were financially okay throughout the season and taking less of a risk. It didn't have to go this far. And it's like, yo, I was already fighting to be excited about this season and optimistic. And, I'm thinking like, yo, don't pay attention to this deal. It's just like Dak. It's just like Zeke. It's just like, it's just like everybody else before who wanted a deal done by Jerry. It's just going to take some time. And hell, Dak got signed the day of the first game. So I was just like, man, let's get him in and sign this week. Get him some practice time real quick and play him sparingly, third down specialist type stuff, rush the passer kind of downs and, give him time to get into football shape. But, I just don't know what to say. Ultimately, I just, 1 minute I'm kind of okay with the deal, and then just thinking about what got us to here pisses me off every time, because it's just like, it's not, one, it's unnecessary, and two, it's not good business. It's not good business. This is the most richest sports franchise in the world, right? And it's just not good business. We're not doing good business. We're not taking care of our own, the guys who actually need to be taken care of. It's been a long day. I'm tired. I'm going to get up out of here. It's my first live, folks, so I hate that I had to come under these kind of circumstances. I appreciate all 2 of you guys that's watching right now, and everybody that'll click the video and watch. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and get in that comment section. Let me know, was this a good trade for the Dallas Cowboys, or was it a terrible trade? I'd like to hear y'all thoughts. And with that being said, I'm out.